telling you people that it is basically the reduction in the selling price of the goods and services, and discount can be offered by the firm as well as received by the firm. A firm will offer discount to its customers, to the consumers, and it might receive some discount from the suppliers. Now, discount is categorized into two types. One is a trade discount, the other is a cash discount, as you can see on your screens. Trade discount is a discount which is related to the quantity of goods sold. So many a times you go to the supermarket and you find a promotion and offer 2 plus 1 free. So this means when you buy 2 units of that particular product, you will be getting another one free of cost. You go to malls, you are purchasing clothes and all, there also you're offered such discount that with 2 units purchased, 2 units will be given free to you. So that is the trade discount that is offered by the seller, and by seller it is offered to the buyer. Buyer can be a buyer who has to work on the raw material, or it can be to the final consumer as well. Now this discount is not shown separately in the books. Now by separately I mean that the value is recorded at the net amount. So say the firm is approaching, let's take the same example, Star Limited is approaching seller X for raw materials, and the seller gives an offer that if the product is sold, is purchased in bulk, then he will be giving a discount at the rate 10% on 10,000 rupee value transaction. So which means that the supplier will now be giving the raw materials, the quantity decided at rupees how much? 10% डिस्काउंट हो गया तो नेट वैल्यू क्या हो गई ट्रांजैक्शन की क्लास?
9,000.
9,000.
Yes, so 9,000 will be the net value. Now, when we record this transaction in our books, I mean Star Limited, when it records this transaction, this will be at 9,000. So the firm will show purchase of raw material rupees 9,000. Nowhere are we specifying that we have received a discount. 10,000 was the MRP and 1,000 has been the discount. No, you are directly recording the net value. What is shown in the books of accounts is the cash discount. Cash discount, again, literal meaning, if the buyer of the goods is paying cash promptly, then the seller might give some discount in consideration of this prompt payment. That is known as cash discount. Again, let's take the same parties, X Limited and Star Limited. Now, X Limited is giving a good order, sorry, Star Limited is giving a good order to X Limited, and say they have ordered raw material worth 1 lakh rupees on today's 9th December. This order has been placed and the goods are to be delivered by X Limited to Star Limited. Now, X Limited gives an offer to Star Limited that if you make the payment by 15th, then we will give you an additional discount of 5%. I repeat the example. The supplier, that is X Limited, gives an offer to Star Limited that if cash payment is made promptly, that is by 15th of December, then an additional discount of 5% will be given. So now this is an example of cash discount, and cash discount is clearly shown in the books of accounts, which means that now we will show that 1 lakh was the amount to be paid minus discount, which will be 5,000, and now the net value comes to 95,000. So cash discount is separately shown, clearly shown in the books of accounts, whereas trade discount comes indirectly through the net value of the purchase or sale. So क्लियरली आप क्या शो कर रहे हो, कैश डिस्काउंट. हिडन वे में आप क्या शो कर रहे हो, दी ट्रेड डिस्काउंट. ओके, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. लेट्स मूव अहेड. Another very important term that we'll keep coming across is bad debts. So bad is something that has not gone according to the expectations. And by expectations, I mean the expectations of the business firm. Now, the firm, as already told, has number of transactions that take place on cash and credit basis. So Star Limited, the firm we talk about, is making sales, and many of these sales are on cash basis. Some of these sales are on credit basis. Credit basis means that the buyer is not making the cash payment immediately. This buyer will now be recorded as a debtor in the books of Star Limited. Now, any firm would give credit to someone only when it is sure that the money will be returned, will be paid in the near future. This is based on forecast. This is based on the expectation of the firm. Now, say, let's take roughly that 70 to 80% of the debtors make payment, but 20% they fail to make payment. Okay, so which means out of every rupees 100 credit given by the firm is getting back 80 rupees, whereas it is losing 20 rupees. Now this is a big loss for the firm, because the firm is now losing all hope of recovering back this money, the 20 rupees of debt that is unpaid by the debtor. This amount is known as bad debt for the firm, and this is nothing but a loss for the firm. So it is accordingly recorded in the books of accounts. तो profit and loss account है, तो वहाँ पे जो loss का part है, there we will be recording the bad debts of the firm. Okay, next, when we talk about financial statements, I asked you people to have a look at the annual reports of the company, and there you came across some main financial statements. Under that, the most important financial statements that we do practically as well as theoretically are profit and loss account, balance sheet, and then the cash flow statement also. We will be doing all this practically in the upcoming units. Now, the balance sheet, since we are talking about balance sheet first, the balance sheet is prepared on the last date of the financial year. The financial year, the average normal financial year starts on 1st of April and it ends on the 31st of March, which means that the balance sheet for the current financial year will be prepared on 31st March 2022. Balance sheet is always on a particular date. When I prepare the balance sheet, then I write it there as per the proper format. Balance sheet of Star Limited as on 31st March 2022. It gives me the proper record of all the assets and the liabilities of the firm, and there we can get a better picture of what is the financial status of the firm. So, on the last date of the financial year, I am able to have a glance at what are the things of value owned by the firm, that is the assets of the firm, and how much money is owed by the firm to the outsiders in the form of liabilities. Along with the assets and liabilities, we also find the balance on the capital account, which the capital that is held by the firm. So, balance sheet would be a good way of getting an idea about the net worth of the firm. Okay, so this is about balance sheet. We now move to the next financial statement, that is the profit and loss account. I can't see. Okay, I think that's at the end, but since I explained the balance sheet, I'll also explain the profit and loss account here. So in the next unit, we are doing all this in detail. So profit and loss account is not on a particular date, it is for the year, and this is how we write it for the year ending. So let's again take 31st March 2022. So in the format, we record all the profits and we also record all the losses for the entire year. This statement is giving you a look at the incomes, profits earned by the firm as well as the losses incurred by the firm during a particular financial year. Okay, coming back to the next term, I'll display these terms side by side. One is debit, the other is credit. So, per se, debit and credit have no meaning. Debit is the left hand side of an account. Debit is shown by DR, and credit is the right hand side of an account. So if the account of Ram is prepared in the books of Star Limited, then the left hand side is known as the debit side and the right hand side is known as the credit side of the account. Okay. Rest all the rules and how we record, how do we decide which value should come on the debit side, which should come on the credit side, that will be seen when we are covering these topics practically. Moving ahead, entity term, I have already explained you. Entity is a unit. So from the accounts point of view, business and owner are two separate entities, two separate units. So I took the example of Reliance Industries the other day. RIL is one entity, Mukesh Ambani is another entity. When we prepare the books for the business, then we are preparing the books for RIL, the accounts जो annual report release होती है वो रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज लिमिटेड के लिए बनती है. जो प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस बैलेंस शीट बनती है रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए बनती है. Mukesh Ambani is just one of the contributors of capital in the business. So the owners or basically in the coming parts we say that they are actually creditors for the firm because for the time being capital is being supplied by the owners to the firm and the firm has a liability towards the owners. So the entity is the firm, the business here, owner is a separate entity, debtor is a separate entity, your bank which is giving loan to the firm is a separate entity. So accounts are prepared for all the entities, but overall the financial statement is being prepared for Reliance Industries. Okay, we are almost at the end of the basic terms, and within this we have receipts. Now, receipts are basically documents which are showing evidence of some money received by the firm. And under that, you can have revenue receipts, you can have capital receipts. Revenue receipts are more frequent in nature because they are related to the day-to-day operations of the business. So which means revenue सबसे common कौन सी एक्टिविटी होती है जिससे फर्म को रेवेन्यू मिलता है?
Ma'am, sales.
Sales. So revenue receipt would be clearly related to the sales made by the firm because they are happening frequently in the business. ओके सेल्स है या फिर फर्म ने आगे कुछ प्रॉपर्टी रेंट पे दी हुई है तो जो रेंट रिसीव्ड है वो भी आपका क्या हो गया रेवेन्यू रिसीव्ड क्योंकि हर मंथ फर्म को रेंट मिलना ही मिलना है. कोई एफडी करी हुई है फर्म ने उस पे इंटरेस्ट रिसीव हो रहा है that will also be a revenue receipt, something that is happening in the normal operations of the business. On the other hand, capital receipt would be one which is not happening normally in the business operations. So money coming in through a transaction that takes place once in a while would be a capital receipt, like the sale of fixed assets. It is not every day that you will be selling a machinery. Once in a while you are selling a machinery, you are buying another machinery, so that would be example of a capital receipt. जो सेल कर रहे हो मशीनरी की that would be a capital receipt. जो आप परचेज करोगे न्यू मशीन that will be a capital expenditure. Okay, so these receipts, the capital receipts are not happening on daily basis for the firm. So revenue capital is clearly defined. Same thing applies to revenue and capital expenditure also, as I told you. So rent paid, interest paid on the loan taken would be revenue expenditure for the firm. Somewhere between the two lies deferred revenue expenditure. Okay, can anyone tell me, the students who are from accounts, can anyone tell me what is deferred revenue expenditure with example?
Advertisement.
Yes, Abhishek rightly said, advertisement is the best example of deferred revenue expenditure. Can anyone explain me how advertisement is deferred revenue? Explanation for this. So many of you have done Aman.
Ma'am,
One by one, one by one. Yes, Aman, and then Akriti, I'll come to you.
Deferred revenue expenditure are those expenditure whose benefits we get in the upcoming years, not
Yes, absolutely.
in first year.
Okay, so not immediately or not totally in the first year. Yes, Akriti, please
Uh,
elaborate further.
Ma'am, like he said, I would like to elaborate on the same point. Uh, we get benefit of those expenditure in the coming years of the business, and it builds up over time.
Yes, it builds up over time. And Anant, you have also highlighted the same thing as explained by your classmates that this is not immediately realized by the firm. So, say for example, our business has appointed or made Virat Kohli. So, since Virat Kohli is in news right now, so let's take his example. And he has been made the brand ambassador of our products, and this is for a period of 5 years. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so he has been made a brand ambassador. Okay, no point even, no need to even mention the tenure of this sponsorship. Now, when Virat Kohli starts marketing our product, then it is not that the benefit or increased sales will happen immediately, but this thing builds over time. You have associated yourself with a person who has some reputation, some standing in the society, and people start recognizing your product more visibly. The visibility of your product improves, increases. This impact on the sales will not only be felt in the current year but also the coming years. तो अगर ये स्पॉन्सरशिप से 1 CR में हुई है तो ये पूरा खर्चा आपको इस ईयर में इसका इम्पैक्ट नहीं मिलेगा। इस खर्चे का बेनिफिट आपको ओवर द नेक्स्ट 5 years इक्वली मिलेगा। ये एक हम अकाउंटिंग प्रैक्टिस में कोशिश करते हैं कि इस खर्चे के बेनिफिट को हम डिवाइड कर ले ओवर द कमिंग ईयर्स। सो विच मीन्स फॉर द कमिंग 5 years, each year I say that 20 lakh of expenditure will be shown in the books, and जो 1/5 इस एक्सपेंडिचर का फायदा है वो आने वाले ईयर में हो जाएगा। इसी तरह 20-20% फायदा इस बेनिफिट का, इस एक्सपेंडिचर का, इस स्पॉन्सरशिप का बेनिफिट जो है आने वाले 5 सालों में हमें दिख जाएगा। तो इस एक्सपेंडिचर को हम सिर्फ टोटली 100% इस ईयर में रिकॉर्ड नहीं करेंगे। इस ईयर में जो अभी फाइनेंशियल ईयर है 21-22, वहां पे मैं 20 लाख का खर्चा शो करूंगी, और आने वाले रिमेनिंग 4 years में मैं ऐसे ही खर्चे को स्प्रेड आउट कर दूंगी। So this will be a deferred revenue expenditure because the benefit of this expenditure has been deferred over time. Any doubt in this? Clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope everyone is listening carefully. Okay, the last point I discuss here, the last term I discuss here is profit, and profit is known to everyone that all the incomes, revenue coming to the firm minus the expenses will give you the profit for the firm. So let's move ahead with the next concept in this unit. Okay, before that, if there are any doubts anyone is having,